tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Hello there, I'm Dylan, aka The Wise Sith, and today we're going to be looking at a topic that recently came up. I'm a little late to it, but I feel like I have to say something about it. It's just, I didn't really feel like talking about the Acolyte, but here we go, having to bring it back up again because Leslye Headland has other things to say. But without further ado, let's look at this article I got pulled up. So, this is from IGN, and we'll see what it has to say. So, title says, I felt like, okay, the writing is on the wall for sure. Leslye Headland has accepted Disney's decision to cancel Star Wars show The Acolyte after season 1, even if she's still sad about it.
This is outrageous. It's unfair.
If you haven't heard, she's been calling out content creators again, saying that they're the racist ones. They're the ones that caused The Acolyte to get canceled. Nope. That's not how it worked.
See through you. We can.
The Acolyte creator, Leslye Headland, has reflected on the cancellation of Disney Plus series after just one season, pointing to the significant impact Star Wars content creators had on discussion around the show. Star Wars owner Disney canceled The Acolyte after season 1, leaving a number of plot threads, chief among them the dramatic first appearance of Darth Plagueis in live-action form, dangling, perhaps never to be resolved. I just feel like that was more of like an insult to the fans that you're going to put him in a piece of show that you created. It's like, good Lord, Leslye, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why would you put... I get that you're trying to make it where he's trying to come into, like, season 2, but, like, for him to come into a show of Star Wars, like, not even Star Wars, it's just a fan fiction show. It's basically what it is. It's basically what she wrote about her lifehood and whatever. But, yeah, yeah, a lot of fans were unhappy that he was in there. Since the cancellation, a number of actors who appeared in The Acolyte have said they still hope for a season 2. Really? A lot of the fandom don't.
Yes.
In December last year, Manny Jacinto, who played Khmer, said Darth Plagueis would have had a bigger role in the further seasons of The Acolyte, but didn't reveal too much because we could come back. Meanwhile, Soul actor Lee Jung-jae, I feel like I'm butchering that, has said he was quite surprised to hear The Acolyte wouldn't get a second season, which Headland was thinking about even before season 1 premiered. Of course she was. Others, including black female lead... Of course they're going to put that there. Black female lead Amanda Stanberg have said they weren't shocked by the cancellation. In quotations, I'm going to be transparent and say that it's not a huge shock for me, she said. I was in the bubble of my own reality.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
What reality? Your freaking diss track against us fandom? But for those who aren't aware, there's been a rampage of vitriol that we faced since the show was even announced, when it was still just a concept and no one had ever seen it. Have you even seen it? Mother Inasea actress Jodie Turner-Smith, I guess I'm pronouncing the first name right, Jodie? Yeah, that seems like it. Raised this issue too, calling out Disney for not doing enough for the cast who faced waves of racist abuse online.
What?
First of all, nobody was being racist against y'all. Second of all, y'all are the ones that were calling out fans just because we didn't like the show and thought it was like poor acting, horrible script, horrible writing, horrible like acting as well. Like all of that combined, very ruining canon. That was another major issue. And all of us complaining about those issues, y'all are turning around and saying that we're racist because we didn't like the show. What a bunch of bullshit. In quotations, they've got to stop doing this thing where they don't say anything when people are getting fucking dogpiled on the internet with racism and bullshit, she said. The fuck? Okay. Now, in a new interview, the Wrap, Leslye Headland offered a reaction of her own, admitting she feared the Acolyte was set for a chopping block as online reaction from Star Wars content creators took a turn for the worse. Okay. I was not surprised by the cancellation, Headland said. I think I was surprised at the swiftness of it and publicness of it. I was surprised by how it was handled. But once I was getting particular phone calls about the reaction and criticism and viewership, I felt like, okay, the writing is on the wall for sure. The content that is being put out by streamers or studios is being snatched up by these other creators, and so commentaries, synopsis, live videos, and all of the ways that these creators make money through viewer-based ad revenues and their Patreons. There's a lot of money to be made, she said. And by the way, have at it. Get your coin 100%. But it revealed to me that there is a misunderstanding between the studios in that engagement. They think of it as fandom. And in ways it is, but studios use it almost like this focus group. As a result, Headland predicted a move towards a world where the content being made about Star Wars will be more culturally impactful than the actual Star Wars. I am a Star Wars fan, which means I've always been, since the launch of YouTube, part of the Star Wars recap, criticism, lionization fandom community. Headland explained, these guys I've known for years and years, so when I got the information from the others about what the weather report was, there was this real concern from friends of mine or co-workers of mine that saddened me. I also was like, I know who these guys are. You don't have to tell me who's talking about it. You don't have to tell me who's talking about it or how bad it is online. I know exactly who they are. I supported them on Patreon. Interesting. I wonder if one of them was Star Wars Theory. Or, can't think of any others, but like, maybe like the Stupendous Wave, or there's some other big ones. I know of Star Wars Theory and Stupendous. I can't think of the other ones at the top of my head that are like mainly Star Wars channels. Maybe Ryan Kennel. I know he does Star Wars sometimes and review videos and stuff. He could be a part of it too. Who knows? There are some of them that I respect, and there are some of them that I think are absolutely snake oil salesmen. Interesting. Just opportunist. Then, of course, there are the fascist and racist. Really. So it runs a gamut. It isn't just one thing or the other. So I think that if you're a part of the fandom, you understand the genre and tone of particular channels and creators. So in some ways I wasn't surprised, and in other ways I was disappointed. I think you always do that when you create something. It's just Star Wars. It's just that Star Wars is on a massive level of visibility. Of course it is. There's a lot of fans that love Star Wars. Star Wars is one of those, like, I don't know how you'd say it, like, one of the top tier fandoms out there. Like, one of the top tier, you got Lord of the Rings fandom, you got your Star Trek fandom, you got, you know, whatever else fandom you can think of. It's like the top tier of fandoms. And, you know, Star Wars is its own little category. And I just think it's funny that, like, Disney is just basically, don't get me wrong, there is a few, like, Disney owned Star Wars out there that's, like, pretty good. I know Rogue One was pretty good. I know that the season 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian was so freaking good. Season 3, it started out good, but then it went downhill. I don't know what they did there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who took control of it at the end, but it just wasn't all that. I know Kenobi. It could have been better. Ahsoka, it started really good, and in the last 2 episodes, it was like kind of really. But I don't know. It's just there was a lot of Disney shows out there, like Star Wars wise, that it was pretty good, but now it's starting to get to the point where like fans are starting to give up on Star Wars, like most majority of fans, and it sucks. Like a lot of us fans that have been Star Wars fans for a long time before Disney, before the prequels even came out, like those diehard fans, even the diehard fans of the prequels that grew up with the prequels, like as me and so many others out there. The one show that ruined it, I would say the one movie that ruined it would be The Last Jedi. That was where it kind of drew the line a little bit. I'll just say a little bit. There was a lot of fans that were unhappy about how it went, how Luke Skywalker just gave up on the Force. The way he died, it was ridiculous. That was not how Luke was. That was not the way Luke should have gone. But what the thing was they were just trying to make room for their new characters to come in and get rid of the old characters. That was their plan, and it was ridiculous. But yeah, like I'm saying, like that was one of the movies where it like drew the line a little bit, but then there were some other shows that started making fans like lose interest in Star Wars, and I would have to say The Acolyte was the one that drew the final straw of a lot of fandom, or of a lot of fans out there, because let's be honest, it was obviously you could just tell it was basically a Star Wars fan film, basically is what it looked like. To the point it was based around Leslye Headland's life and her early lives and about her father and blah blah blah. That's just not how you're supposed to write a movie. Especially in Star Wars. You're not supposed to write Star Wars based on your life. No. It just doesn't add up. And of course, she had to throw in her wife in there, and you had all sorts of stuff. It was just ridiculous. Anyway, Headland also touched up on her own dashed hopes for season 2, saying it could have been worth it to allow the audience it was meant for to find. Ultimately, she sounds resigned to defeat on the Acolyte, and Disney has made no indication of reversing its decision to cancel the show. But that wasn't up to me, she continued, so I fully respect the decision, even if I was sad about it. Last month, Headland confirmed the Acolyte would have gone on to feature a connection between the Stranger and villain Kylo Ren. Headland said the Acolyte's central villain, Khmer, also known as the Stranger, would have eventually started the Knights of Ren, the cult the young Kylo Ren joined following his departure from the Jedi. Indeed, the Acolyte would have confirmed the Stranger as the first Knight of Ren. Nobody wanted to see that. So, I mean, there's those fans that still would have loved to see it. The ones that are defending the Acolyte. But, let's be honest, a lot of us fans didn't want to, we just didn't really care about that. It's just sad that, she's blaming content creators for the cancellation of the show. No, it wasn't the content creators that canceled the show. It was Disney realizing the show didn't get enough revenue and views. That's the reason why they wanted to cancel the show. It wasn't because, let's say, Star Wars Theory said about it. It's because it did not make its revenue and it did not get enough views. So that's why it got canceled. I don't. It's always somebody wanting. It's always somebody wanting to point the finger at somebody else. It's not because they want to like accept how it went. They always have to end up pointing the finger. They always want to end up pointing the finger at somebody else, and it's just ridiculous. It's silly. It's very childish, to be honest. So for her to like for her to point her finger at like the fans and say that most of them are being racist and bigots and sexist and all sorts of it's ridiculous. But yeah, I just feel like Leslye, if you're watching this, which I doubt you will, just know it wasn't because the content creators are the reason for your cancellation. It's because your show was absolute dog shit. The acting was horrible. The story writing was horrible. You threw in characters that shouldn't have been in there. They weren't even born yet. That's the other thing. Coyote Mundi. He wasn't supposed to be born yet, and you threw him in there anyway. Throwing Darth Plagueis in there, having to make him be a part of something else that has nothing to do with his story. Making the twins born without a father through the Force, actually. That was the ridiculous part. You basically ruined the whole concept of why Anakin was basically the chosen one. I don't know. It's nobody's being racist here. Look at these other movies and shows that came out and from Star Wars and has other race characters in there and has female lead characters and all that. Nobody was complaining about it. If you look at Kenobi, the reason why people were complaining about Reva is because she was a character. Her character was horribly written, and she was just horrible, and it was always focused on her halfway. And I don't know. It's just ridiculous. It's like I don't understand. I just don't know why this whole racism and bigotry and all these other concepts are being thrown out there. It's the fact that the shows are being freaking written horribly. You're ruining canon, and y'all are also changing up characters. Like even canon characters, you're changing them up. That's why a lot of fans are like giving up on Star Wars, is because they keep changing canon. They keep changing everything else. They keep changing characters the way they do stuff and act now. It's like, no. It's unacceptable. And then here's the other thing. They don't listen to the fans. They listen to these like minority fans that most majority of them aren't even true fans. They just got introduced to Star Wars recently. They haven't been a true Star Wars fan since George was around. And somehow they got introduced to Star Wars. They got introduced to Star Wars recently, and they're all like defending all these like new shows and stuff, saying, "Oh, this is the best thing ever," blah blah blah, and they're all rooting for it. It's like, what the hell, fake fans, I swear. If you're feeling tired and need some energy, I would recommend W Energy, which is really a great energy drink company. They may be small, but like they're really good, trust me. They have stuff like a starter sample pack, so if you don't want to spend the extra money on one of the tubs, you can always come over here and get the sampler pack. It comes with 3 flavors. You got Galaxy Grenade, Dragonade, Peach and Peach. These are all sugar-free, and they also don't cause jitters, which we all know when you have certain energy drinks, you feel the shakes and your heart starts racing a lot, which is not a good feeling. So, if you haven't already, go check out w.gg and use my code WISESith to get 10% off your order. And I highly recommend, if you want to start out just sampling, just get the starter sampler pack, which is about $18.49. Use my code, get 10% off that, and you're good to go. Well, that's all I have to say about this article. I feel like I have to say something. I felt like I had to say something about it. It was just something I had to get off my chest. But yeah, I hope you liked this video. Stay tuned for more. And remember, the Force will be with you always. See ya.